Hello, travel fans, once again, and welcome to another episode of My Mickey podcast and live stream. My name is Cam. I'm so excited to be with you once again for another exciting conversation about all things in Disney travel. That's right. And the best place to go to when you're going to make a vacation for Walt Disney World. You know where you need to go? You need to visit my friends at My Mickey Vacation Travel because they are the experts. They go to the parks all the time. They have the up-to-date information. They are experiencing everything for you. They're trying it all out so then they can put the best vacation package together for you and your family. So you definitely want to check out mymickeyvacation.com to get started with a dream designer today. Now, this is going to be episode 2 of our series of Walt Disney World 101. We talked last time about the Magic Kingdom, and today we're diving into all things, my personal favorite, Disney's Hollywood Studios. A little backstory on me. I used to work for the Mouse for over 23 years, and half of that career was based at Hollywood Studios. So I am a plethora of information to talk about this park today, and it is my favorite. So I can't wait till we get into a great conversation about Hollywood Studios. So stick around. And because we are live tonight on YouTube and on Facebook, I want to encourage all of you out there that are watching tonight and just passing through, shoot some comments up as we're talking tonight. Let us know what you're thinking. If you have anything to contribute to the conversation, we can pull it right here on the bottom of the screen as you're seeing. So tell us what your favorite attractions are, favorite tidbits of information, favorite places you like to eat, snacks. We're going to be talking about all of that, because that's what we do here on the My Mickey podcast, when you can find us on a variety of podcast platforms. And so go ahead and hit subscribe the next time you're on there, so you're always up to date when the next episode drops. All right, enough of that business. We want to get into this conversation because I'm excited to talk about Hollywood Studios. So like always, I want to welcome back the co-owners of My Mickey Vacation Travel, Jeff and Karen Stoner. Hey, you two.
Hey, Cam.
Hey.
How you doing?
Great.
Wonderful. Now, just a fun side note for everyone that's watching us live tonight. We were getting our cameras set up before the live stream, before we went live, and Karen and I and Jeff, we were all practicing. Look at the camera, look at the screen, look at the camera, look at my notes, look at the camera, look at the screen. So if you're watching us right now, keep us honest, watch our eyes and see where we're looking, or you tell us, keep looking where you're looking, Karen. You're looking great. That's what
if
you
need.
If
I'm getting googly-eyed, let me know.
Yeah, if we're googly-eyed, if we're getting cross-eyed, please let us know.
Yes.
But I don't know about you. I'm going to be wide-eyed. What do you think of that segue, huh? We're going to be wide-eyed talking about Disney's Hollywood Studios 101 for those of you who have never been before. And if you've never been, it is the hot park right now. For many reasons, the hot park, and especially for you Star Wars fans, we'll be getting into a lot of that. But Jeff and Karen, welcome back to another podcast. How excited are you for Hollywood Studios Talk? Where does this park rank out of the 4 for you at Walt Disney World?
It's honestly one of my favorites. It is. I enjoy going there. It's easy to get to. You don't have a long walk from your transportation into the park, and once you're there, you're transported into a whole different world. And yeah. I love the attractions. I love all the dining. I love the food. I love the entertainment that is there when we're not in COVID. Yes. It's a smaller footprint of a park, but it has everything. It's my favorite. I mean, Magic Kingdom always has that place in your heart.
Sure,
but Hollywood Studios is my favorite park.
And I love what you said about it having a small footprint, because being a small footprint makes it manageable to do a lot of it in the one day, which is wonderful. Karen, how about you? Where does Hollywood Studios rank for you? Is it number 1, number 2? Is it a runner-up in it? This is a day of honesty, so go ahead and just be honest with us.
I can't really say a favorite park because all of them are just so different, and I love all of them for different reasons, for different. And Hollywood Studios used to be, or MGM, back in the day, that a lot of people still call it that. But up until the past few years, it was a park that didn't have a whole lot. People thought that was kind of a half-day park. It had the few e-ticket rides. It had, Tower of Terror, Rock and Roller Coaster, and
Right.
Toy Story Mania that you'd always run to first thing in the morning trying to get your fast pass. But I love now that they have these 2 fabulous lands added to it. That really is a full day park and lots to see for everybody.
It is. It really is a full day park now. I mean, yes, you still could park up, but you really can make a full day of Hollywood Studios. And I think it's a nice balance of attractions and restaurants and entertainment that it doesn't have to feel pressured either. It could be a very relaxing day at that park. So I'm excited to talk about it today. So shall we dive right on in?
Let's do it.
Yeah. And once again, I'm going to invite all of you out there. We want to see those comments on here. We're talking all things Hollywood Studios. If you have some tidbits you'd like to share with us, put them on there. We would love for you to contribute to the conversation today. So let's talk about Hollywood Studios. It just recently went under, a major renovation. Yes, with the addition of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. The year before that, you had a Toy Story Land added to the park. And in addition to the whole parking lot changing, the Skyliner is now part of the way to get to the resort. So it's a really nice spread out. It really can hold everyone. So let's talk about what to expect when you're arriving at the park. Many different ways to get there, right? So
you can get there. You get the Skyliner, which comes from Pop Century, Art of Animation, Riviera, Caribbean Beach. So from those resorts, you can get to that way. They have boat transportation.
Boat transportation. That's right. Even if you're over on the Boardwalk Resort. So that's the Boardwalk, the Yacht and Beach. Even if you're staying maybe at the Swan and Dolphin and you're over there, you all can take the boats. You can take the Skyliner too.
You can even walk. We see a lot of people. Why? I would not want to walk there, but people do walk there. I'm
on vacation. I'm not.
Vacation.
No offense to anyone, but I'm not crazy going jogging on my Disney World vacation.
But for those of you, I know we see them all doing their runs and all that stuff before they hit the parks, which I personally don't understand that. But if that's what you want to do, that's great. But you can walk, and it's not a long walk to walk there from like the Boardwalk Resort. So that is definitely feasible to do.
That's right. And the security process, is the security process different, say, than Magic Kingdom that we talked about on our last episode? How does security there different, or getting through bag check? Is there a bag check?
So it's pretty much the same as we talked last week about Magic Kingdom. Currently with COVID, you have to, get your temperature taken before you enter into the security area. With that remodel that you just talked about, when they redid the parking lot and all of that, they redid that entire front section. So of course, we're talking to first-time visitors, so they don't know what we're talking about the old days, but there's lots of security, and there is no more bag check there either. They have the new technology with the scanners. You just walk through. Awesome. If you're holding an umbrella, you have an umbrella, you have to hold it out in front of you. But other than that, you just walk straight through. And
a turkey leg, you gotta have to hold it out in front of you.
Like a turkey leg. Yeah. And if you do get buzzed, then you have to step to the side and go through your bag. But
wait. Buzz Lightyear could buzz you right there in security. Is that what you're saying, Jeff? Buzz Lightyear right there?
It's possible you might get buzzed.
You might get buzzed. But that's for later in the episode when we'll talk about that kind of buzz, which I'm looking forward to talking about as well. So yeah, it's so open now as opposed to the past. So if you are a returning visitor to Disney's Hollywood Studios, you're really going to notice the improvement. There's so much more elbow room now, and that whole process of getting into the park through security and temperature check, it really just flies now, which is woohoo, a big woohoo on our end. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Entering the park, just right now, just like we've been talking about the other parks, they're phasing away the Magic Band, right? But we all have our handy dandy phones these days, and you're using the My Disney experience just to tap right there at the entry point, and you're in, right?
Yeah, and they are still using Magic Bands. They aren't complimentary any longer.
Gotcha.
But Disney is still using them. They're just charging $5 for the solid color ones. So if you have Magic Bands from a previous trip, you can still use them as long as the batteries and whatnot haven't gone dead yet. But they usually last a few years. But they do have Magic Bands still if you still want to use those.
Great. Mm-hmm. And when you walk in, I think it's probably my favorite part of Hollywood Studios is the whole 1940s Hollywood. Yeah, they always say the Hollywood that never was, but always will be. Yes. As a former citizen of Hollywood, I spent many days there in the front of the park and over on Sunset Boulevard. It's just great. You walk in and it's old time Hollywood, right? You see the Chinese theater down at the end of the Hollywood Boulevard. You're instantly immersed in that Hollywood feeling. Don't you guys love it?
One of the things I really like about that too is, and it actually begins out by the Skyliner, but the music that they play as you're entering into the park, it's taking your favorite Disney hits and putting like this 40s swing big band thing to it. Oh my gosh, I could just sit out on the bench outside and just listen to that music all day long. It's unbelievable.
It's right. Have that turkey leg that you took through security. Just sit down, enjoy it for breakfast, right?
Right.
Listen to good music. That's wonderful. So you get on in there, and it's Hollywood Boulevard, right? And it's just absolutely beautiful. And let's talk about, briefly, because we talked about temperature checks. This park, like the other parks, we're talking about masks, right? Everyone's wearing a mask inside the park to be safe. There's still social distancing happening with the attractions as well, right?
Correct.
And we're also talking about all counter service being on the phone, on the app as well, right? You do the mobile ordering.
Yep, that's still all the same. Yeah.
Cool. But they have Photopass. They have Photopass right there when you walk on in. And what we talked about last time that we're still excited is that you now can remove your mask to take a picture, right?
Yep, you sure can.
Exactly.
It's so nice to see everybody smiles and all that.
You're no longer having to Photoshop with some celebrity's bottom half of their face and put it on, superimpose. No, we get to see you once again. Yeah.
Yes.
So Hollywood Studios, this is, as we now talk about the park itself, what I think it's a great balance of, as I said, attractions, entertainment, restaurants. Let's start with attractions. Yeah. And we'll lead up to Star Wars, which I know everyone wants to hear. What are your can't miss attractions, you guys? Can't miss. One or two.
Can't miss attractions. Oh, it has to be. Well, for me, is Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway.
Right.
Yeah, the new one. That is definitely mine. I don't do a lot of the bigger rides because I get a little motion sickness. So I don't do the Tower of Terror and all that any longer. But Mickey Minnie is just the ultimate attraction. I can sit on there over and over and over all day.
Oh, I know. And that song it's a small world,
Yes, it is.
Now it's the song that won't stop now because it sticks in your head all day long. Jeff, what's the first attraction you would recommend going to at Hollywood Studios? Top of your day, to make sure the line doesn't get too long. Where do you head first?
So I'm with Karen on Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway.
Yeah.
Just a favorite in so many ways. We could spend a whole episode just on that attraction.
Sure could.
But I am also a crazy fan about this e-ticket ride, Slinky Dog.
Slinky Dog Dash.
Toy Story Land. Oh my gosh. What a great, it's a coaster ride that you can see in the picture there. And you're riding in the Slinky Dog. And it's just a fun ride in many ways. It's fast, but it's not scary. It's not a scary coaster, like for little kids or anything like that. It's just a fun themed all around Andy's backyard. Andy built this coaster in his backyard with all of his toys, and it's just a fun ride.
It's great, and I would say, though it looks like Goofy's Barnstormer, that's what I instantly compare it to by look, Goofy's Barnstormer at the Magic Kingdom.
Right.
But this is a level up from that. This
definitely is.
Definitely is. A little more intense, but don't let the word intense scare you or the little ones. They're going to love it. Two things that stand out to me in this ride are the 2 launches it has, which is cool. It has the initial launch, and then you get a second launch halfway through to propel you through the second half, and it's awesome. So you get that thrill, that rush, that tickle in your stomach 2 times, yeah?
Yep.
And my personal recommendation, ride it in the evening. It's so much cooler looking at night, in my opinion. And, it's the day.
I think we may have lost Cam.
There we
now.
go. I saw it. My
There you are.
computer wanted me to mute me, so I'll repeat what I just said.
I'm trying to read your lips.
What are you trying to read my lips? I love it. But
That's why
basically,
my
I
eyes look
said,
like that.
I know. I just saw this big old thing pop up. Oh, technology. Hi, everybody. Thanks for letting me know. But Write It in the Evening is my personal favorite. Write It in the evening time. You know, it tends to be crowded during the day. It may be less in the evening time, and it just looks awesome in there at nighttime. The lighting in that land is really something to check out. Yeah, that would be my opinion on that. I'm looking here at some of the comments in our comment thread here. Tom Wonder's talking about he goes to Tower of Terror. Oh yeah, Tower of Terror. I can tell you for the years of working there, that was always the ride everyone was running to at the beginning of the day. Now we've got some e-tickets all over the park, so it kind of, I think, helps out everyone going multiple directions. Yeah. Tower of Terror, if you've never been before, based on the Twilight Zone, it is beyond just a dropping elevator. And if you're thinking your stomach can't handle it, maybe listen. It's yeah. Listen. Look at Karen's face. Karen, do you ride Tower of Terror?
I used to when they used to go up and then down, and it would stop for a second and then go back up.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden it goes up, down, and up, and like immediately, and that's whoa, that is a little bit too much. So Karen doesn't do that one anymore.
I always say, try it once, and then you never. It's like being a parent. Try that vegetable once, okay? And if you don't like it, you don't have to do it again. Okay.
Yes.
What would you say is a classic attraction for Hollywood Studios? We've been talking about what we've talked about so far, some e-tickets, and we're still going to get to Rise of the Resistance and Galaxy's Edge. Hold on, we're going to get there. But what are some classic attractions? And let us know, folks, here in the comment thread, what you think of when you like to go to Hollywood Studios. A classic attraction.
So I think for me, a classic attraction, even though I guess I would say it's a classic. Toy Story Mania.
Oh yeah.
You know, I mean, that again, before Star Wars and before Toy Story Land, it was the attraction everybody ran to.
Yeah.
And now, now you can get on with a 20, 30-minute wait. So it's not too bad. And even faster, when Fast Passes come back. But and they've got, I think, upgrade, to 3 different tracks now, where when it first opened, they only had 1.
Yes.
And so it's a fun ride.
The queue itself,
trying to get that high score, and
waiting in line is actually really impressive and really awesome. It makes you feel the size of a toy the entire time you're there. It's great,
and it's interactive. A lot of fun interaction in there too. So that I think that's my favorite classic.
Yeah. Can we put up Tom Wonder's comment there?
Yep, absolutely.
Because I agree with Tom right here. I'm a huge nostalgia fan, always have been, and I know I always will be. But One Man's Dream, if you've never been to One Man's Dream, it's on your way. Besides, it's right next to Voyage of the Little Mermaid and on the way to Toy Story Land. It's I'd like to say it's an ever-changing museum for Walt Disney's history. Yeah, you have Walt Disney's actual school desk that he carved his initials into is in there, and it's a revolving exhibit showing different models of attractions before they were built, like the Jungle Cruise has been in there. They've had replicas of Walt's office in there before. Sometimes they have actual Academy Awards in there for you to check out, so you can be that close to an Oscar and take a picture with that. And it always ends up with the latest movie trailer for the next Disney film coming out. And that's usually an extended trailer that's not seen anywhere else. So it's a really great place to go, and fully air conditioned. There we go.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, the other thing they add in there too, and again, outside of COVID days, but near the theater in the back, they will take that area and turn it into a character meet and greet. And those meet and greet areas also rotate. So they've had, I think we had Star-Lord and Groot back there when Guardians of the Galaxy was popular.
They've had Mike and Sully before. Yeah.
Yeah, they've had
Moana was in there.
Moana's in there. Yeah.
Yep. So that's a great character meet and greet, and it constantly changes as well.
You never know what's going to be in there. It's a surprise. That's why you have to go in there and check it out.
Yeah. Do you have a classic attraction, be it a ride or a walkthrough experience, Karen, that you like about Hollywood Studios that you would recommend?
that I would recommend. See, that's the change, because when you say classic, I know what all
Classic,
of our
I would say classic meaning didn't open just recently. Let's say that.
or
Yeah.
that's not open currently, because you have to just say,
Right.
when you say classic Disney Hollywood Studios, we think of the great movie.
You're thinking the great movie,
Not
right?
there.
I know you are.
I'm just going to say it.
We're
'Cause I
opening
know
up a debate right
everybody's
now.
saying it. Everybody listening is thinking the great movie ride, because that truly is the classic attraction in that park.
Right.
And
for those that don't know, that's what is now housed with Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. But besides the great movie ride, what are you thinking of?
I'm a Toy Story Mania person too. That's just our. I remember when our kids were little, running and getting our Fast Pass to try and get it real quick and ride it, one time, and then use it again later with our Fast Pass.
Yeah,
it's such a fun family attraction, and
in another classic that I think it's fun because it continually updates.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Star Tours? Yes.
Yep. Yes.
That's what I was going to
say. As they were releasing new movies, they would add little sections into it with pieces from the new movies. And I thought that was genius. That was great.
Yeah. To this point, you actually can appear in the actual attraction on your ride as the rebel spy, right? They actually find someone, they scan you, and they put you on the screen. It's awesome. So it's always a goal of mine to be the rebel spy and to go to Hoth. I think that's so cool to go to Hoth. That's great. That's great, you guys. Okay, so, and that's still teasing. Okay, why don't we just get there? Let's talk about Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, which is why everybody's here to talk about, and they want to know, how can they get on Rise of the Resistance? All right, let's just talk about Rise, and then we'll talk about the rest of Galaxy's Edge. So Rise of the Resistance, the most popular attraction now at Walt Disney World. I think also it seems to be working in its favor that because it is a bit of a challenge to get on, it just adds more of that, gosh, I got to get on it, right?
Suspense.
It's that suspense. Will I even get on?
Will I get on?
Right. So what is the current process? Because Rise of the Resistance is the only attraction currently at Walt Disney World that operates like this, right? Of being able to get on it because of its popularity. So can you guys explain that for those that don't know what's happening?
Yep, sure. So it's a virtual queue, and the virtual queue is accessed via the My Disney Experience app on your phone. And so the virtual queue opens each day for that day. It opens up, get this, at 7 a.m. in the morning.
Ooh.
And so if you have a ticket for the park and a park reservation for that day, you will be able to attempt to get your park reservation at 7 a.m.
Does that appear on the app right there? It gives you a link right away at 7 a.m.?
It does. So there's a on the homepage of the app, there will be a little box that talks about Rise of the Resistance, and it gives you a button to push to get to the next screen to start the process for your virtual app or for your virtual queue.
Mm-hmm.
And so, again, no one's in the park at 7 a.m. because the park's not open. So you can do this from the comfort of your resort room at 7 a.m. Now, you want to be doing this at 7 a.m. Be on that screen. When you get to the screen where you're actually looking for the join button, keep refreshing that baby, leading right up to 7 o'clock. And as soon as it hits 7 o'clock, that join button will pop on. You hit the join button. It'll ask you for all the people in your party. They'll automatically be checked. Just keep on going. Just keep flying through the process, because if you delay, you may lose out. Right. And if you are fortunate enough to get that boarding pass, it'll give you a boarding pass number, and it will even tell you like an approximate wait time. Once the park opens, it'll give you that approximate wait time as to how long, it might be until your boarding pass gets called. And and your app will sequence throughout the day, now boarding 1 through 9 and 2 through 10 and 3 through 11 until it gets up to your number. Once your number shows
up, because if you get boarding group and you're still in bed, get up, get showered.
Right. You're going to want to be at the park at opening. So, and once your boarding pass shows up, then you just go to the attraction, show them your magic band or your ticket, and they'll wave you on through now to get in. Now, if you're unfortunate to not get that boarding pass at 7 o'clock in the morning, fear not. You have another chance at 1 o'clock. So you have to actually step foot into the park to get that access. So step foot into the park at 1 o'clock. You go through the same process again. Open up the app, refresh until 1 o'clock hits, and then look for that join button.
Gotcha.
And again, if you get in, you get in. If you don't at that point, you're going to be kind of out of luck for the rest of the day.
Gotcha.
They don't reopen. There's it's 7 a.m. or 1 in the afternoon, and that's your shot.
I'm going to keep talking about this, and it's an honest question. I'm going to send it to Karen for this side. So in your experience right now as dream designers and with your business, are you finding nowadays, are people getting better chances of getting on than say when it first opened? Or are you still kind of hearing the same amount of, we didn't luck out, we didn't get it, and we tried multiple days? What are you guys hearing on your end?
That they're, for the most part, are getting on.
Oh, good.
And of course, we give very specific, detailed instructions with screenshots and all that stuff to all of our clients that are traveling too. So I had a family recently go, and they got group number 3. I was impressed. They were so excited.
Yeah, that's great.
Because they had been worried about it, and they were able to get it. So,
and another reason to trust and use a dream designer with My Mickey Vacation Travel, because like you said, you have screenshots showing everyone exactly how to do it. So you're not questioning the process when you're there at 6:59 a.m. getting ready to hit that button many times to get on. So another great reason. Yeah. And folks, in the comments, we encourage you, let us know, have you found any tricks of the trade of securing yourself a Rise of the Resistance boarding group that we don't know about? I'd love to hear your thoughts and see if there's any new secrets out there. So that's Rise of the Resistance. Very popular, and good luck to you getting on. Yes.
May the force be with you.
Exactly. May the force be with you. May the luck be with you. Yes. Now let's talk about the rest of Galaxy's Edge, which is Star Wars land, if you're not savvy in the terms. Yeah. Because Galaxy's Edge actually has 2 attractions, the second being the Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. And we're showing a picture of the life-size. The Millennium Falcon is docked right there in Galaxy's Edge. And it's impressive, folks. When you turn that corner and you see it, especially at nighttime, this is another land like Toy Story Land that is just stunning in the evening. It just is. It's great. And that's an attraction for the whole family. And you all have jobs on board the Millennium Falcon, and you have a job to do as you're going on a mission. It's really cool. A lot of buttons to push. Some of you are flying the Falcon. Some of you are firing different weapons, and some of you are navigating. It's a really cool experience, right? I mean, from the moment
some of you are crashing it.
Good. Mike McGarry, love piloting the Millennium Falcon. That's right. Yeah. So each ride vehicle holds 6. So it could be a whole family of 6, but you might be sharing it with others, just so you know. And everyone's got jobs to do, and it doesn't take any explaining. It all makes sense during the ride for you.
Look for the flashing lights.
Yeah, that's right. Just look at those flashing lights. Now, those are the 2 attractions. But can we talk about, because I think we've talked a lot about the rides now of Hollywood Studios. Can we just start talking about food? Because let's be honest, that's my favorite thing to talk about Walt Disney World. And there's actually great food offering, starting with in Galaxy's Edge. Yeah. Yes. You've got a lot of counter service options here. Well, I believe you could count Oga's Cantina's semi-sit down. Yes. And Oga's Cantina is a bar, which is a sit down experience. But for the most part, the other locations, Docking Bay 7 and Ronto Roasters are counter service, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, they are. And one of them is kind of located outside. The other one's kind of nestled back over by the Millennium Falcon there, but and you kind of have to look for it a little bit, but both have very unique foods. Probably the better of all of the options in the entire park in terms of variety of food. It's well beyond your chicken nuggets, hamburgers, and hot dogs.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's safe to say, and my wife, Hannah, we both worked for Disney for many years, and we were just talking about this before we went live tonight. And we both agree, we think Hollywood Studios actually has the best overall experience of food. Now, some people would say that would be Epcot for all of the festivals, right? But I'm talking about their actual home-based restaurants there, and the variety of cuisine you can try at Hollywood Studios is, beyond the chicken nuggets and the burgers and the fries, which are there. But let's talk about like Docking Bay 7. They have one of my favorite dishes in a theme park ever, and they're these meatless meatballs that have this sauce, you guys, that is delicious. And if you know, it's one of like those Impossible burgers, but it's an Impossible meatball. And if you've never had one before, try it at Docking Bay 7. Yeah, I give it a 10. I don't even give it a 7. It's a 10. That's what I give it.
Now we gotta go try that. I haven't had that yet.
Ooh.
I like the Ronto roasters. They are so good. Those little.
Well, Ronto Roasters has some great. They've got sausage type cuisine, and they even have a breakfast offering there as well. So if you're there in the morning time, they've got some breakfast options there. There's also the blue and green milk that everyone talked about leading up to the opening of Galaxy's Edge. Can you guys tell us about blue and green milk?
The green milk is, in my opinion, gross.
And let us know right here. Does anyone like either of the blue or the green milk? And how would you describe
I'll tell you what, I've had them both. I liked one more than the other.
Me too.
And I couldn't tell you which one I liked more than the other. It's been that long.
I like the green milk better because it had more of like right?
Oh.
I think so. It had more of like a Starburst kind of flavor. Yeah. That sounds weird. It's like drinking a Starburst, which can sound a little gross, but I don't know. You got to try it. And I believe you can add alcohol to it as well if you want to for an extra kick. So to each their own. So have fun there. Let's talk about more of the table service options at Hollywood Studios. Yeah. Do you have a personal favorite or one you really think people should not miss on their trip to Hollywood Studios, especially if it's their first time? Let us know in the comments too, folks.
All of them.
Yeah.
They're all so different.
I'm going to say it right now as a former citizen of Hollywood, and thank you, Tom Wonder, for saying I miss the street people because I miss them too. Look, you were prepared.
I was prepared.
You were prepared. Oh my gosh, look at that failing, recovering alcoholic of a movie star. Look at that. Oh my gosh. He couldn't stand up straight if he tried. So my personal favorite, because I performed in there for many, many years, but the Brown Derby, you guys, is one of the best restaurants, in my opinion, of all of Walt Disney World. And there for many reasons. The food is impeccable. The food is so good, you guys. And they have a lunch menu and a dinner menu. The Brown Derby is right along Hollywood Boulevard as you're walking up from the entrance of the park. It's on the right-hand side on the corner of Hollywood and Sunset. It's beautiful. You go inside. It's a replica of the original restaurants from Southern California. And it's so relaxing in there. Where the theme parks can be loud and hustle and bustle, you go in there and you are hearing that 1940s soft music. It's Art Deco, right? Got those deep sunken booths, you guys. They've got some great cocktails. They're famous for their salad and their grapefruit cake. I recommend personally 2 things. At lunch to get their burger. They only serve it at lunchtime. It's fantastic. Get the egg on it if you like eggs. Get the egg on it. Or the surf and turf in the evening, you guys. Oh my gosh, it's so good. It's so good. And Hannah brought up, which is true, it could be pouring rain outside and you're wet and you're feeling like the day's just been ruined. I tell you, go into the Brown Derby. Yeah, you're going to be a bit damp, but the energy calms you. It's a great place to relax. Yeah. Now, it does need a reservation, but they also have, in regular conditions, and you guys can elaborate more if they're using the outdoor patio right now, but they have the outdoor patio, which you can walk right up. And if there's seating available, you can walk right on in and you can get a majority of the menu from the inside, which is great. So the Brown Derby for me, a fantastic location for tables.
I want to go now.
Have you never been?
Oh, I have, but I just want to go like now. I just want to go now.
Oh, yeah. I do too. And wonderful service, wonderful cocktails. So if you want to try some really nice cocktails, all Hollywood themed, it's wonderful. And maybe someday the citizens of Hollywood will be back, and
Hope
they
so.
actually were in there during lunchtime as well. So that's really cool. Yeah, that guy, that guy drinking cocktails with the guests. Wonderful. How about you guys? A lot of table service options. And folks here, let us know. Can we bring up Amy Disney's? She's talking about, and Bailey Bradley. They're both talking about Mama Melrose. Mama Melrose, great Italian restaurant. It's in the back part of the park, on the way towards Muppet Vision 3D. It's in the back.
It's
I love
Jeff's
it.
favorite.
Jeff, well then talk about it, Jeff.
That's
Why do you
his
love Mama
favorite.
Melrose?
I'm, of course, anybody who's listened to us over a period of time knows I'm an Italian food lover, and
you don't like cheese on your nachos, but continue.
I love my nachos without cheese. Yes, and
Parmesan. That's what he eats.
that is not Italian food, Mr. Matthews. That is not Italian food. So anyway, I do love Mama Melrose. You walk in there and they have the open hearth oven, and they're cooking right there in front of you as you walk in.
You can smell that oven through the whole park. P.S. Keep going.
Yeah, it's amazing. We love the the menu's great, and it's a typical Italian restaurant menu, but the atmosphere and the surroundings, it's the concept is you're in an Italian restaurant on Melrose Avenue in Hollywood.
Yep.
And so everything on the wall has to do with Hollywood stars and, again, dating back in time. So, you could sit there during your meal and just read the walls. It's just amazing.
And because it's one of those restaurants that was back during the MGM days of the park. Yeah.
Right.
So that old Hollywood feel, a lot of those old pictures, because MGM Studios used to have a star of the day, and they brought actual celebrities, and they had their little headshots, and they're all over in Mama Melrose. So it's a trip down memory lane for those nostalgia lovers. Tom Wonder, who's been chiming in, thank you for that. It's a great, great, delicious place. You won't be let down there. Another one is Primetime Cafe, which I loved going to as a kid, and I think it's a great place for families, is Primetime Cafe, which is just off of Hollywood Boulevard on the left-hand side as you're walking in, Hollywood and Vine. It's just past Hollywood and Vine, which is another restaurant we can talk about in a minute. But Primetime Cafe is taking you back to the 50s. Yeah, and it takes place, all of the tables look like you're in a 50s kitchen. It's so cool.
Lots of Formica.
A lot of Formica. Yes, sorry. Yes, I thought I lost my mica for a second. But yes. A lot of Formica, a lot of black and white television shows. Yeah, and a lot of green beans that they want you to eat. Your servers are technically your cousins. They call yourself cousins, and they're famous for being loud and being a part of your family, and
yelling at you for having your elbows on the table.
To clean your plate. Oh, it's a ton of fun. It's a ton of fun. My personal favorite their meatloaf, guys, is delicious. If you're a meatloaf person, it's awesome. Fried chicken would be number 2 there.
Fried chicken's mine.
Yeah. And really great milkshakes there. Really great, because they've got it's called Dad's Bar. It's right in there, and they've got some delicious milkshakes, and you can just get the milkshake if you want during the day.
Can I tell you a secret? Can I tell you a secret?
Tell me if I don't know it.
I have been put in the corner a time or two in that restaurant.
I don't doubt it. If you've ever been put in a corner, please let us know in the comments right now. Yeah, especially at Primetime Cafe. Terry Davies, yes, loves 50s Primetime Cafe. Thanks for listening tonight, Terry. And Danny Cox, we're going to get yours in just well, I think we've done pretty well with the table service. One
sci-fi
is sci-fi.
Sci-fi.
Yeah. Let's talk about sci-fi. Karen, tell us about sci-fi.
Sci-fi, you sit in a convertible in the 1950s drive-through, and you watch black and white movies of like The Blob and
we're talking B movies, folks. If you like B movies,
cheesy awesome. Movies.
Yeah.
And you sit in your convertible car, and it's so cool. And kids always love that restaurant. They love the idea of sitting in a convertible and eating.
Like an old drive-in movie theater.
It's a drive-in movie theater, and you eat in the car. It's great, you guys. Sci-Fi is another classic restaurant there. And again, for me, why Epcot, yes, has a ton of restaurants, but for me, Epcot nowadays is a 365 festival, and I would rather just eat at all the little booths there personally these days, where for restaurant's sake, Hollywood Studios, boy, you can have a great lunch and a great dinner. You really can there. And it's a great way to get some air conditioning and relax. Ooh, best fried pickles at Sci-Fi. Holly Andrews McKay, I don't know if I've had their fried pickles, but I love them. So I will definitely have to try them the next time I am there. So I think we've covered the big table service, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So let's get into some
You mentioned Hollywood and Vine, but just to kind of reiterate for those folks who've never been, great character dining experience. Typically a buffet, but right now it's menu table service. Fantastic food. They've reimagined their menu. One of the most amazing dinners I think I've had on property. It's so good. And then of course we've mentioned this many times, but their desserts are off the chart.
Yeah.
So definitely a park favorite. And Karen and I were having that same conversation before we got started that you and Hannah were having. It's like, there's not a bad restaurant at Hollywood Studios.
There really isn't.
And there's so many choices.
Yeah. So yeah, if you want, like home cooking, or you want a little upscale, you want the burgers and fries, but you want it in a cool themed, or you want character dining. They got that as well. Wonderful.
And everything there.
They've got it all there. Yeah, Michelle McCoy saying, love Hollywood and Vine. The new prime rib is delicious. Well, I will have to take your word for it, Michelle McCoy. Thank you for letting us know that. Let's talk now about the counter service offerings at Hollywood Studios. And I invite everyone right now, type in your favorite and maybe one offering that they have there, why you love at Hollywood Studios this particular counter service offering. Danny Cox says, we absolutely love the new menu at ABC Commissary. Such a great variety and amazing food. Yeah. So the ABC Commissary can be a little tricky to find. It's behind what is currently the, why am I blanking on the title of the theater? But it's where the Frozen Sing-Along is. Yeah. So it's behind there. Down Commissary Lane, named after the ABC Commissary there. Yeah, a great place where you can see some memorabilia from ABC programming. It's kind of like a miniature version of Planet Hollywood. They got this costume from this show, and like these pair of shoes from this. Yeah, so that's a great thing. Bailey Bradley is saying for a great one is Woody's Lunchbox in Toy Story Land. Have you guys experienced Woody's Lunchbox? I have.
Yes, so good. They have the best grilled cheese sandwiches there, and those little Pop-Tarts for breakfast. Really,
the grilled cheese is really tasty. The menu, I think, has changed a bit since last I've been there, so I don't want to claim that they have anything in particular, but it's really cute, you guys. Great place to get a nice snack with the kiddos. Definitely check out Woody's Lunchbox. Scoops, Stacy Robinson Cox. Yes, Scoops is the ice cream stand that is on Sunset Boulevard. It has the best ice cream on property. That's a big statement, Stacy Robinson Cox. That's
it really is.
That's a big statement. I'm not saying that's not true, but Stacy Robinson Cox, I want you to tell us why it's the best ice cream on property, or let us know your favorite Sunday or menu item to get, because that's a big statement.
In that area where Scoops is located is great for quick service, because right behind Scoops, you have 3 different quick service places there that have a variety of different offerings. A lot of picnic tables that are under the shade. And then right next to it is, and you may have to help me with this, Cam, but I think it's the Fairfax Fair. Is that the
yes, because it's all
like the open market where they had the fresh fruits and things
correct.
Like that.
So this is for everyone that's listening, what he's talking about. It's down Sunset Boulevard as you're heading towards Tower of Terror. It'll all be on your left-hand side across from where Beauty and the Beast is. Yeah, the stage show. That it's all reminiscent of the farmers market on Fairfax in California. Yep. So a lot of different offerings. So you're going to find your pizza. You're going to find your burgers and fries there. Yeah, you're also going to find some alcohol stuff. You're also going to find fruits and vegetables and some healthy offerings there. And like Stacy said, with the brownie sundae, oh my goodness, in all caps, so good, is also on that corner, which is great. So yeah, fill yourself up with a brownie sundae and then go on Rock and Roller Coaster and
There you
Tower
go.
of Terror, and then tell me how you're feeling. That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know.
And can I add one more thing to Scoops too? If you're there during
The cherry
the
on top,
holiday,
please, Jeff. Go ahead.
holiday season, get those hot chocolates that have the adult
bourbon
beverages
in it.
added to them. Oh my gosh, that'll warm you up on a nice cold night in
Magical.
Florida.
Sure. Oh,
Mhm.
so good. So thank you everyone for contributing to the counter service. Now let's do can't miss snacks. I've got one already I've got to talk about. It's an institution, in my opinion, for Hollywood studios, and it's the carrot cake cookie. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. The
Mhm.
triple C, folks. The carrot cake cookie, right? And currently, correct me if I'm wrong, it's now over where Starbucks is on Hollywood
It is
Boulevard.
at Charlie
where you
Stop.
can. It's at the
Mhm.
Trolley Car Cafe. So when you're coming in right in the morning, going up Hollywood Boulevard, head to the Trolley Car Cafe right before Sunset Boulevard. In there, get the carrot cake cookie. Morning, noon, night, midnight snack if they're open that late. Go and get it. It's an institution. It's a rite of passage, just like the Dole Whip of the Magic Kingdom. The carrot cake cookie is a rite of passage. Let me know if I'm wrong. Let me know if you've never had it in the comments there. Do you have a favorite snack at studios, guys?
The Jack Jack cookie num num.
Oh, yeah, we've not talked about the Jack Jack cookie num num or that whole Incredibles street, which is on the way to Toy Story Land. That cookie, you guys, is and it's hard to tell in this picture, but
It's warm and gooey and chocolatey.
yeah, I would say that's probably at least like 7 inches in diameter.
It's huge.
It's
Yeah,
big,
it's big.
you guys. It's a pie. It's definitely a pie.
And the only thing that's missing, which I don't know why they don't have it there, which is over at the market over at Pixar, is vanilla ice cream.
I know.
If the cookie's warm and it's big, you need a nice scoop of vanilla ice cream.
We always said, tell me you've got if you already wanted to shake with it or something, like, we don't have
something with it. Yeah.
I know you need something with it, right? For my wife, which she would have with any snack at the park, she's all about frozen Coke, folks. So if you're a big frozen Coke person, that's right along Echo Lake. So to get to Echo Lake, you go all the way up Hollywood Boulevard, make a left when the buildings end, and it's just around the corner. It's kind of hidden back there along the water.
I've never had a frozen Coke before.
You've never had a frozen Coke before? No. Well, they've got frozen Coke and they've got varieties of different frozen soda beverages. But when it gets hot, and it gets hot at Walt Disney World, it's a great offering, for during the day. Quick something to cool you down. Definitely got to get that. What are your favorite treats, you guys? Go ahead. Maybe holiday treats.
I have two. First one is the giant soft pretzels at Baseline Tap House.
Ooh,
have you had that yet?
Talk about Baseline Tap House. We didn't talk about that for a counter service. Go ahead.
Yep. So Baseline Tap House is basically a nice place with outdoor seating and a patio. It's over kind of across from the Muppets area of the village there.
Yeah.
Sits around the corner from Sci-Fi Drive-In as well.
Correct.
But they have lots of different beer on tap, and they've got charcuterie boards in there, and like I said, these massive, incredible soft pretzels. So grab yourself on a hot day, go in there and get a nice beer on tap. They have lots of I'm not a beer guy, so I might have these initial wrong, but like a lot of local what are the guys called that brew their own beer?
Local breweries that they have on
local
tap.
breweries.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's
IPAs,
definitely more, it's definitely more of a place to get a beer or an alcoholic beverage. Yep. They have like 2 or 3 little eats, but that's a really great place just to grab a beer, maybe, around happy hour time, sit outside, take a load off from the park. It's a great place to go.
And I'm also a big fan of the Fuzzy Tauntaun. Have you had that yet?
The Fuzzy Tauntaun at Oga's Cantina back in Galaxy's Edge.
Well, numb your face.
It does. That foam that you're seeing there, it actually, they have something in it, and I've read about it, but I can't remember what they call it. But yes, it actually numbs your face. That's
an adult beverage. That's not for children. That's an adult. Yeah,
that's right.
Just want to throw that out there.
Yeah. Now, just tagging on Oga's Cantina for those that they are dying to go there, and they should. It's really cool in there. It's neat. there's often a wait to get inside. You don't have to have a reservation, but you do have to put your name in and wait for it. Is that correct still?
But it's
You
best
can
to
get
have a
reservations for
reservation.
it.
Best
It's
to have a
real tough to get that walk-in.
Mhm.
But it can be done, but it's tough.
Gotcha. But just know that for the most part, if you're going to sit inside Oga's Cantina, you are going to share a booth with possibly several families. So if that's not your cup of tea, let them know. Maybe you want to stand at the bar. Just something to keep in mind, the cool booths, unless you are a party of 10, 8 or 10 and can fill an entire one, you're going to be sharing that with a bunch of other folks. So it's kind of like German beer garden in that sense.
Right.
So just keep that in mind. If sharing with other folks you don't want to be around, just keep that in mind.
Outside of COVID.
Yes.
Outside
And one
of
other thing too, I want to mention, since we're back in Batu, are for the first timers, they may not know about the Savvy Workshop and the Droid Depot.
Talk about that. Yeah.
The Droid Depot is where you can actually put together and build your own droid. You can make your own little R2D2 or however you want to do that. Really cool experience. They also have Savvy Workshop, which is where you build your own lightsaber, which is totally awesome. So those of you Star Wars fans, you don't want to miss doing that. You do need reservations for those too. And as of right now, reservations for those are done on the My Disney Experience app 60 days before you arrive. So you don't want to miss doing that. It's kind of pricey. The Build-A-Droid is $99 before tax, and the Savvy Workshop for the lightsaber, they just increased the price of that, and that's $220 now.
Yes.
Totally worth it, but it's really a cool thing. So for first timers, Star Wars, or make sure you go ahead and get your reservations for that.
Absolutely. For the ultimate Star Wars fans, you got to have everything. You're definitely not going to want to miss those. That's what everybody talks about. Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. Well, there's so many things to talk about. We talked about the food, the attractions, just how awesome a full day of entertainment for you there at Hollywood Studios. And we're hoping that we'll get a lot more of those entertainment offerings back as time goes on. Yeah, because that's a Hollywood park. It's all about entertainment. And little by little, I think we're going to get some of that stuff back. So maybe we can talk about more of that in the future.
I hope so. Can't wait for that.
So.
Yeah, me too.
I need me some more spoon granite.
That guy? Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, that's great. So before we leave Hollywood Studios, let's talk about end of day souvenir shopping tips. Yeah. Any great places to buy some great merchandise that, you might not get at, say, Epcot or the Magic Kingdom? What are some cool Hollywood Studios grabs there?
Definitely in Star Wars, over at Galaxy's Edge. Yeah, they have all the cool stuff there. All the little, I'm not a huge Star Wars fan, so I don't know all the names of little critters and things like that that you can get. And the porgs, that's one, those little cute little porgs. So they have
the Hollywood Studios has really upped its ante. There's a Pandora, a really large Pandora in there now. So if you're into the charm bracelets and the jewelry and watches, that's on Sunset Boulevard. Down there, they have some really cool clothing stores that are, for those that like those vintage looking dresses that have, Disney print on them. Those are really cool. The D style is all in there. And for Pixar enthusiasts, Hollywood Studios is your place for Pixar. Many different locales for you to shop, especially a very large store on Sunset Boulevard. You need to go in there. They cover all the movies. So if you're a big Pixar fan, shopping there is great. And just like at Magic Kingdom and the other parks, you can ship those gifts that you buy back to your resort. So you don't have to carry them around all day, right?
Yep. And we forgot to mention before, they have lockers up front. All the parks have lockers. So if you are not staying on property and you don't want to carry everything around, or even if you're bringing stuff to the park, like a jacket, or you want to lug it around, they do have lockers up front where you can store any of your goods and goodies and things in there.
And another thing for if you're not staying in a Disney resort, you can also have it moved to the front of the park and you can pick it up at the end of the night, your merchandise as well. And I highly recommend that. Keep your hands free so you can get those cocktails and fuzzy tauntauns and all of that good stuff, right?
Yeah.
What were you going to say, Jeff?
One thing I wanted to add, if we could back up to the Star Wars a little bit.
Yeah.
If you're shopping in the marketplace back in Batu, in Star Wars land, one of the things you will not find there is anything that says Star Wars, because it's supposed to be an authentic experience that you're on this planet. They don't know that they're in Star Wars. So the things you'll find there are very Batu related. But if you're looking for that Star Wars logoed merchandise, there's actually a specialty store on Hollywood Boulevard full of that Star Wars stuff. So, look there as well as at Batu if you're really looking for that Star Wars merchandise.
That's great. That's a great tip. Great tip. Well, I think we've covered Hollywood Studios, you guys. Oh, my favorite park. I love it so much. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I want to thank everyone who's been chiming in today and telling us great places to eat and what they love. And apparently we got to go to Scoops. I mean, that's the scoop, the Hollywood scoop, right? That's
you know what? I just thought of one other thing that we do need to just touch on. Well, a couple little things that are the shows that are there for those that want to see princesses is that they do have the Frozen sing-along going on now where you will see Anna and Elsa and all the fans there. They do have the Disney Junior show going on right now. The Little Mermaid, Voyage of the Little Mermaid show is not currently going on, but it is there for the kiddos. Lightning McQueen show is currently going on. And also character cavalcades have those all going throughout the parks where you'll see Mickey and Friends and the Disney Junior parades too. So you'll see Vampirina and Doc McStuffins and all that. So you will see all your fan favorites.
And there's a Pixar cavalcade, I believe, as well.
Yes,
right?
yes, the Pixar cavalcade. You'll see Marge and Buzz and Woody and all that.
Yeah, so there's still entertainment there. We're hoping to get more of that back. We're crossing everything for that. Bailey Brady just said, tuning in from T-ball practice. T-ball, that's awesome. Such fun combos talking about my fave park. Thank you, Bailey. Thanks for tuning in and recommending Woody's Lunchbox tonight. Thank you so much for that. That's great. Well, I'm going to pack my lunchbox, as a segue there. And I can't wait to get back to the park. I can't wait to get back there. I miss it so much. And folks, if you are just now salivating over at least Hollywood Studios, you're like, I've got to go. You know who you got to call? You got to call the wonderful, the fantastic, the impeccable, the very knowledgeable, the amazing Dream Designers with My Mickey Vacation Travel. Put that graphic on the screen, Jeff. There it is. Family Magic Memories. So many ways to get in touch with them. I personally recommend starting right there at their website, www.mymickeyvacation.com. I want to thank everyone who's been watching tonight, who's been listening faithfully to our My Mickey podcast live stream. I want to thank Jeff and Karen Stoner once again for a great conversation. And a side note, I want to celebrate that they just got their second vaccines today. So woohoo!
Woohoo! We are ready.
We're all second vaxxed and we're ready. We're ready. Next month, heading back to those parks. It's going to be great. Can't wait to give you guys more insight. So folks, you know it. Reach out to My Mickey Vacation Travel for all your travel needs and stay tuned because we still have Epcot to cover and Animal Kingdom to cover in our Walt Disney World 101 series, and that will be coming soon. Keep posted to Facebook. Go ahead and like the page, right? Subscribe to the page so you're not guessing when it comes on. You're going to know. We're going to tell you, and we're going to have a great conversation right after T-Ball with you. It's what we're going to do. Okay. So bring the T-Ball team, bring the whole family, get excited. And until next time, I'm Cam. We will see you real soon. Good night, everybody. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.